actually supposed to have them somewhere along the lines here. So it'll be definitely neat seeing them using those weapons. And ooh, I've got a pack gun set up right behind this church here. That is something that I don't want to mess up with. It's actually kind of nicely pinholed up over there. And that has a perfect shot on my infantry inside this building, so I'll move them back. Right now I really want to take this building complex, or this manor. I'm just gonna check the in-game time with that feature, seeing as how I still don't know how to get that top bar back, if you will. Right, so I think we've landed, rather we put enough shots into this manor so far. So what I can do now is to assault it, I'm going to give my guys these sneak orders into the building. And what they'll effectively do is that they'll just crawl their way over here, and if they engage anything, they'll stop and they'll just start firing. It's a nice way to advance, but at the same time it's incredibly slow, and I do believe it costs a fair amount of fatigue as well, because of course these guys are crawling on the ground with huge amounts of stuff on their back. Ooh. Can that AT gun... No, that already... Can't open up on my Churchill over here, so that's good. Right, so these guys will hopefully crawl into the building and make an assault like that. In the meantime, I think, yeah, I'll get the Churchill tank to shell people at the church, and I'll get a small 2-inch mortar to fire. Looks like this Churchill tank was actually doing some repairing over there, if I saw that message correctly. It's kind of neat too. Let's see, these guys are either out of ammo or for whatever reason not shooting, so we'll turn them off. And that mortar will... Oh, there we go. The battle ended. Time ran out, so that'll be that. Let's see. The losses for this should be pretty good this time. 9 losses for us, 1 damaged tank. They lost right around 26 people. So we're 25 people, somewhere right around there. Anyhow, gained a lot of territory on that map, namely 2 movement locations. So, hopefully on this turn we'll be able to move some troops here and there. Right, so it is now 10 o'clock in June 26. It's the second turn inside the game. And yeah, some troops have arrived over here. So now what we'll have is we'll have a few cards under other cards. So we have a company of Yeomeri Cromwell's, and I can tell it's a company because it only has 1 bar right above that NATO tank circle, which is the little white box with the oval-ish, it's kind of like a donut oval inside it, so that's that. We have, yeah, 2 more infantry troops behind our guys. Now this is a new feature that they've introduced inside Panthers in the Fog, the whole idea of unit sizes, because originally they were sort of omni-size units, and with that said, I don't know how particularly it's going to influence the battles. I'm going to try to drag my troops into the enemy tiles just to see how if we have any movement directions there. So evidently we don't, although I think we can move these guys over here into this map, just sort of because, like I said, you can sort of surround your own guys if you wanted to. It's kind of useful in some situations, especially now that you can stack 2 troops in one location, so you can sort of penetrate enemy lines, not just break them and move through them like that. Right, so on this turn, I think we have a fairly good amount of progress on these 3 lion locations. So with that said, I think we'll just really continue these battles. There's not too many options available here right now. Oh, and another thing that you can do is that you can issue cross movement orders, where you can bring troops around like that. And then this one, if we had a zone connecting these 2 maps from here to here on this side, we can also switch the troops like that. It's also one of those things that's pretty useful, but inside this situation we can only move it across. Now, I'm actually not really sure what the implications of that is. Going back, I think, yeah, we'll just continue off of these battles, but what I can also do now here, and I didn't do this the first turn, I had wanted to just sort of get into the game right away, and with that said, actually, take this mortar away, give these guys 2 supports because they might need it. what I had originally wanted to do was, yeah, you can issue strategical support to your guys. So we get 3 sort of sections of mortars and 3 howitzer sections, just sort of from each battle or from on each turn, and we can assign those to different groups, and depending on, say, what they do, for example, we can assign that to a movement order and or a moving troop with a movement order. And with that said, when they go into a new position, maybe there will be troops there and they can use that, or alternatively, if we know that there will be combat somewhere like right around here, we can also do that. So I'll name this LPT2, save that, and I think we'll begin the first fight, so that'll start up these rounds again. Looks like the enemy has also reinforced here. I'm going to try to drag this thing, but it looks like we're fighting a HQ sort of battalion or company, and some stuff of SS Panzer II over here again. So we'll start this battle over here, and I could be wrong about this, but I think you get some more space. Well, no, you don't get any more space for these battles. You don't get any more unlocked territories, although you can combine your troops to get more. So I think we'll switch out one of these wounded platoons over here. As you can see, these platoons, they do take damage and do carry over. Switch them out for one of those. I'll keep the tanks on standby like this, because I don't think they've taken too much damage. And what you can do here is that you can swap out the 2 forces that you have, and it looks like, yeah, last time we definitely advanced the battlefield by a lot of territory. So with that said, I think I'll try to deploy inside these locations. And the battlefield, like I said again, I mean, it carries over, so all of the artillery barrages that we've laid out here, they stay along the trench lines the enemies have dug in, or the enemy trenches that they dug over here, they also carry over. So that'll be good. Let's just check this map. I want to check, what is it? Yeah, it's just more open terrain. So we're going to go with a pretty standard deployment here. And I'm going to get our guys to man these hedgerow lines just because they can. And we'll just press forward really on this map. This one's pretty easy, I'd say. It's more or less just a straightforward attack. And it looks like our deployment here is already pretty much perfect. So we'll start off. Well, no, I can do 1 or 2 more changes over here. Assess and defend. Move them like that. Space them out like that. And I think we'll begin really. And the enemy will deploy very, very close to us. It's a good thing our guys are on defense, so they'll automatically open up on these guys. Let's see what they're sighted. They have actually a lot of troops inside this region. I'm going to get my tanks to drive slightly further away. Guess we've started right in the middle of some action over here. Likewise over here as well, huh? Right, so in that case, I'm gonna get my guys to open fire on these people right away. Oh, even more people. Looks like we've begun the what is effectively the very middle of an assault order here. What is this over here? Could be mistaken, where maybe that's just sort of like a shell crater or something. But I think that might be a. Oh, it's a flak piece. That's why. It's 2-inch or 2-centimeter flak gun, I think. It's not gonna be. That's not going to kill any of our tanks or anything. It might immobilize them. Or alternatively, it might take out the infantry really well, though. So, try to get some fire on that. See whether or not the gun gets smoked by one of the tanks. Fire's still sort of building up. Front squad over here is slightly suppressed, which is rather unfortunate. We're going to reinforce them with more troopers, though. And, ooh, close assault happened over here. Looks like one of the Panzer Grenadiers made it pretty close to our lines, and our guys had to, well, whittle them down with some grenades. And perfect. What was that actually? It's listed as a light AA gun in game. Alright, so that's good. I think that might be actually the vast majority of the enemy infantry over here. Looks like I just got an email, so I'm going to check this. Since I have time, I'll put the screen somewhere interesting. Right. It's like another grenade fight. Right, so I think we have things pretty well under control here. These squads should only be... Yeah, these two squads are actually fully eliminated now, and we also have some mortars available. So right now, I'm gonna get our guys to make a bit of a sweeping advance, and we'll try to go forwards from here. Looks like this Bren section, fortunately they've done a ton of damage to the enemy. Looks like they have a lot of wounded, and they'll probably be out of the game. So I'm going to grab the other section over here. Actually, no, both of these sections are pretty wounded. Looks like then we'll have to get both of them to go forwards. But right now, depending on how the victory settings are set up, we can win the game by just capping all of these locations. So that's what I'm going to try. Over here, I'm going to drop down the mortar barrage. Just going to call it in on the sort of order, and then I'll start things up. So yeah, what that does is that these supporting fire orders, which are mortars, artillery pieces like howitzers, and close air support, we can schedule them up, and they'll typically be ready somewhere around the quarter or half mark inside in the game term or the tactical battle time, and then you'll be able to lay down pretty heavy barrages like this. And I think the crocodile over there will just fry those pinned troops inside their trenches. And as you can see, I mean, mortar barrages are pretty effective. But at the same time, if you do this over an empty field, it just creates so much cover for the people who are still alive inside that area. Oh, very close to our troops. Oh, I think that might be the enemy mortar somewhere around this area. Nope. Yeah, there we go. So, Axis morale broke, we captured the map. Both of the allied, or rather, what has happened over here? I think we pushed off the Axis battle groups have retreated in disarray. So we've effectively cleared out this tile, so that was a nice mission. And it looks like we can see what the troops are doing inside this tile. So yeah, we managed to break off that, the Panzer Grenadiers over there, and that'll just advance us to the next series of battles over here. And I think this one was also a pretty easy battle for us last time, so we'll continue. I'll keep the troops in rotation as they are currently, because I believe for this battle we didn't use too many, or rather we didn't take too many losses. Place some of the Churchills, start it up. Oh, this one was the one that we ran into a few anti-tank guns. I remember this one. That said, actually all of these tanks that I've rotated in are not damaged in the least, so that'll be good. And for this mission, I think we'll do something along the likes of these deployments. So I'll get some of the infantrymen inside the back here to continue to occupy our victory locations, and I'll get the troops inside the front here. I'm just going to start it to capture these three, and I'll try to cap out the enemy. Right, so let's try that. I'm going to give these guys fast movement orders. I want them to visually sort of spot the objectives, and I think I'll get the tanks to just quickly run to them. Ooh! Large formation movements over here. I think all of those guys are in range of the tanks too. Very deadly fire. It's kind of a poor objective for the AI to make. Just sending all of their troops, and as you can see here, I mean the tank wreckages, or in this case the half-track wreckages, also stay put. Over here I think, yeah, there's some pioneers dueling out with our riflemen infantry. Give them a fighter order to speed things up. And perfect, we also have howitzers available right now. I'm not going to call them in just yet though, because I think we have a... No, we don't have a flamethrower or Churchill. If we did, I would have burned all of these troops in the middle of this field here. But I think we'll try and see where there are any resistance troops here. Oh, this thing over here, what is this? This is a cornfield, so it's blocking our line of sight practically anywhere inside it. Right, so in that case, let's get our guys to make a few movements. I want to capture these two objectives. Ooh, have a lot of trenches over here. I think I'll just get our guys to advance, really, at that point. Let's see whether or not all these people over here are dead. Yeah, all of them are dead. Okay, so that's good. And I think now that we have both of the strategical, or rather the supporting fire options open, the next clump of troops that we can find, I think I'll just get them to shell the living crap out of the location like that. Oh, what is this? Is this a mortar squad? No. Oh. Sounds like they actually have a lot of things inside this area.
Target Uncle 2-1, map reference 643291, fire by order, right range, over.
There we go, the howitzers are shooting now. Absolutely wonderful particle effects here. Ooh, right on target. You got one guy standing up still, wow. There we go. Did a nice flip too when he died. And there we go, no resistance coming from there anymore. And I think we'll just wait until the dust settles over there. In the meantime, I'm going to get my infantry over here to try to make a bounce.
Area secured.
Oh, I think this is